Ms. Dunn, you are suing the defendant, Mr. Small, over loans, property damage, and other related expenses. You two dated, it didn't work out, but remain friends. You and your daughters needed a place to stay, so you moved in with the defendant. Everything was going well until you got a settlement check. That's when you claimed that the defendant started asking to borrow money. When the money dried up, you claimed that the defendant then made it unbearable for you and your daughters to live under the same roof, which forced you all to move, which is why you're suing him today for the court's maximum of $5,000. Mr. Small, you opened up your home to the plaintiff when she was in need. And when the plaintiff received a settlement check, you claimed that she wanted to give you some of it to help you out since she and her daughters were living with you rent-free. Then the plaintiff, you claim, had expectations, but when you rejected her advances, that money all of a sudden turned into loans. So you claim that you owe her nothing. All right, Ms. Dunn, how'd you meet the defendant?
Met via social media in December of 2022. Physically met in January of 2023.
Is that when you started dating?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Towards the end of 2024, we had stopped talking. 2023, I'm sorry. We had stopped talking. We had fell out. Started talking again earlier on that following year, 2024.
So was the dating, did it ever turn serious, not serious, on and off? Describe it to me.
It was brief.
Okay.
But we remained friends.
Would that be the way you describe the relationship?
Yeah, trying to get to know one another. It wasn't really dating. We put no title on it.
Okay. And it just didn't work out?
No, it just didn't work out. She became possessive and weird. So I said it ain't gonna work out, but we can be cool. We can be friends.
All right. Ms. Dunn, how did it get to dating, not working out, friends, to you then moving in with him?
So towards the end of last year, I was in the process of surrendering my lease in my apartment complex.
Okay.
So initially, my thought process was I would move back north. He presented an opportunity. He said that he was in the process of applying for a HELOC loan. So he wanted to do repairs on his house, and he had mentioned coming over there with me, and I'm like, I'm trying to surrender this lease. I said, but because I just recently was discharged from my bankruptcy, maybe you could be a co-signer. I was initially looking for a house. This is what he said to me. He said, well, I get the HELOC loan. What I could do is I could pay a couple of months of the rent up front, and I can use some of that money to fix up my house, and I can use some of that money to do repairs on my trucks, to get the trucks up and running. That was his plan with that loan money. However, the loan money didn't come through, but in the process, I had surrendered my lease. He then approached me with another offer saying...
So wait, is that true, Mr. Small?
No.
Okay, how'd this work out? How'd she end up moving in with you?
She was about to terminate her lease with the apartment complex, and she didn't have nowhere to go. And she was telling me she was thinking about moving back to Chicago, and she was also looking for other houses to rent. So I'm like, man, you ain't got to do that. Just come stay here. You ain't got to pay no rent or nothing. Just stack your money and take off when you get your stuff together. Yeah.
And you invited her to move in knowing y'all were just strictly friends?
Friends, that was it.
Okay. Judge Mincer.
Now, Mr. Small, you knew when you invited her to live with you that she had intentions of being with you, and you just didn't want to be with her in that way.
No, I told her before she moved in, just friends. We cool, we get along better just as friends because it don't work out as, I see certain things, patterns.
What were those behaviors?
Over emotional, can't control her feelings.
Why would you agree to move in with a guy that you liked and you knew he told you he didn't like you in that way?
Well, that's not the case. So when
what part is that?
We were friends. So when I moved in, that was understood, but at the same time, he was presenting it as though we were working towards something. With him, one saying we should get these trucks up and running, we should do this, that, and the other. It was basically him manipulating the situation because at the time I had received a settlement check.
Manipulating the situation, but he did offer for you to live with your two daughters rent-free in his house. How's he manipulating?
So what happened was he no longer wanted to co-sign when that HELOC loan did not come through for him. So I said, well, I've surrendered my lease. So at this point, he's like, well, you can come here.